good evening, good evening, or should I be saying good night because it is 10:06. My beautiful ones, my wise ones, and my melanated ones. It is still February the 19th, and I am Wisdom Reborn. So tonight I'm not feeling great. I have expressed, and I try to make sure that I talk about it pretty frequently, fibromyalgia, which is a dis-ease that I have been diagnosed with that is directly associated with childhood trauma. Now, I've talked to y'all about my childhood and the things that I experienced as a child, being mishandled, being touched inappropriately, being spoken to inappropriately. I don't even know if I got into the physical beatings with y'all, but I don't even want to talk about the things that I went through as a child, because I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I think these children nowadays deal with situations that are, if not as bad as some of the things that I dealt with as a child, maybe even worse. And it is becoming a normal thing. I went to my mailbox on yesterday and I heard a woman, I don't even know which apartment she was in, I don't even know, screaming at her child. This woman cussed this child out like this child was an adult on the street that had done something to their child. And I was like, who is she talking to? And then I heard what sounded like a toddler screaming and crying. Now, I tell y'all that fibromyalgia is associated to and related to childhood trauma for a reason. If scientists and medical professionals know this, then this should be a disease, an illness that we can very easily stop. Future generations should not have to deal with fibromyalgia. So I was just thinking how it's so many people that have children by people they don't even know. It's so many people that, and I'm gonna say parents, that allow their children to do things that are totally inappropriate for their age. There are so many parents that allow people that they don't really know around their children. There are parents whose children can't read on grade level, can't do math on grade level, but are the best dressed children in school and in the streets. There are children that haven't had a home cooked meal in days, maybe weeks. Yeah, you might be feeding them McDonald's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, whatever you're feeding them. But we all know that restaurant food is not high quality food. That fast food, those Takis, those sodas that are loaded with sugar and additives and Coca-Cola will clean your toilet. Coca-Cola will take battery acid off your battery case, your battery, whatever they're called. Skittles have plastic in them. And not only do they have plastic in them, they are loaded with additives and preservatives that are harming your children. But we're too busy to go to the grocery store and buy some food and cook. So their little brains and their bodies are not getting the nourishment that they require. And then when they can't read on grade level and can't do math, we wonder why. If your child is sitting up listening to you have adult conversations about adult topics, you are allowing your child's mind to open up to things that your child should not even know about. If you are a single woman, or it doesn't even matter if you're a single woman or a single man, if you are allowing your child to be in the presence of multiple people that you are having adult relationships with, are you setting a good example? Should your child have to worry about if my mama is getting her head knocked up while they're in school? Should your child have to listen to you making noises and loud music and smelling marijuana and on a school night or any night for that matter? That causes trauma. That causes trauma. That trauma is gonna show up in that poor baby's life. It's going to open up them to have a level of curiosity that they should not have at such an early age, which may lead to promiscuity, which opens up all sorts of things. Our job as parents and as adults is to nurture the innocence of children. Let them stay a child for as long as possible. Are the lyrics to the songs that you listen to in the presence of your children PG? Not even PG, what is it? I don't even know what's below PG. Are they rated for everyone? Are the video games that you allow your child to play violent? We are taking the innocence from these babies, and it's becoming a part of our natural everyday life. And we don't understand that it is affecting these children. Not only is it affecting these children, it's gonna affect the children that they have. I hate that my childhood was what my childhood was. But if it causes me to be more cognizant, pay closer attention to what goes on in the lives of other children so that I can bring that information to the masses on a level that they can understand, it would have all been worth it. I don't understand. I do understand. I'm gonna have to quit saying that I don't understand, because I do understand. We don't take time to reflect upon ourselves. We are too detached from our childhood to understand what childhood is supposed to be like. Childhood should be a time when you learn specific things at specific ages. I started cooking when I was 4 years old because my mother worked second shift, and because me and my sister would have to wait for her to wake up before we could eat, and we would be hungry. So I pulled up a chair to a gas stove and fried some bacon and made some grits. This was before they had instant grits. A 4-year-old should not have the responsibility of feeding themselves or feeding their sibling. It is totally different if you are baking cookies or making Rice Krispie treats or allowing your child to learn to flip their pancakes or make their own grilled cheese sandwich and you're there with them. Now, I'm a hell of a cook. So I guess it turned out okay. But I'm using that as an example for innocence being taken. It is not a child's responsibility to provide food for themselves and their sibling or siblings, because an adult is asleep or an adult just doesn't do it. Now, I taught my kids how to cook at an early age, but I was in the kitchen with them. And then when I had to work, when they were 12, 13, and they were at home by themselves, I knew they knew how to cook. I'm saying that to say, too many adult responsibilities have been handed over to children, and it is taking their innocence. Their innocence is part of their divinity. It is the thing that keeps them connected. So my heart goes out to these children. And it used to just be that my heart goes out to the little girls, because the little girls are the ones that end up, you can see it in the little girls. They call them fast. They call them mouthy. They call them mannish. They say they too grown. So it used to just be in the little girls. That's where you could see it more prominently. And you can see it like that too. But little boys you can see it in little boys now too. Our children are suffering. Our children are suffering because we, as adults, just want to have fun. Just want to be the popular person. just want to be the person with the loudest weed, just want to be the person with the most expensive liquor, just want to be the person at the club all the time, or want to be the person whose house everybody is at all the time. Want to be in the streets all the time. And some people even take their children with them. I don't understand. I do understand, and I gotta quit saying that. If you don't truly love yourself, you can have an attachment to your child. You can love your child to a certain degree. But until you face you, then you're not going to ever understand the pressure, the responsibility, the taking of innocence that you're doing to the children. There's people on, I don't even know, maybe it's Instagram or TikTok. I don't even know which one it is, because I don't even go on those that much. But it's kids that lip sync to some of these songs, little girls, to some of these rappers' songs. They even be cussing. And they have thousands of likes. When is that okay? When did we start accepting that in our culture? My mother may have not done everything right, but when she had friends over and they were playing cards, me and my sister had to be in our room. There was no being in the room in the mix with them. When I was married and me and my husband had company, the kids were not allowed to be right there in our presence. When my grandma was talking to somebody on the phone and a child came in the room, she would tell us, "I'm on the phone, get out of the room." But we got cell phones in our hand all day long, having conversations about things that children should not be privy to. But it's okay. I am here to declare on February 19, 2025, damn it, it ain't okay. You are damaging your children. And your damaged children are going out into society, and society is damaging them even more. But if you don't see anything wrong with it, then I guess this message just ain't for you. And just like I gave reference to Tupac's song the other day, Brenda's Got a Baby. Brenda was 12 years old. She was 12. Let me tell you, when I was in the 5th grade, there was a girl in the 4th grade pregnant, coming to school every day pregnant. That was in the 70s. And it happens too frequently, far too frequently. If they're not pregnant, I know quite a few people that put their children on contraception when they started their period because they didn't want to be grandparents, instead of having conversations with their children so that their children would have self-worth, so that their children would not be out here It is not okay. It is not cute. It's not. Take it from a child who wasn't cute back then. Adults have a responsibility to children, even the children that are not their own. We have a responsibility to the babies. Now, once they get 15 or 16, 17, a lot of times it's not a lot that we can do. Most of the time, it's too far gone. We got 14, 12, 13, 14-year-old kids stealing cars at 2 a.m., killing people, having guns, selling street pharmaceuticals. Where are the parents? Where are the aunties and the uncles? Where are the grandparents? What is going on? Other cultures don't have these problems. And I'm not going to say that they don't have, let me change that. Other cultures don't have these problems on such a wide scale. Because I'm sure there are one-offs here and there. What is going on with us? Why aren't we addressing these issues within our homes, within our families? I'm going to tell you why. Because we are so busy running around in circles, not changing our positioning, not getting a better view of what is going on around us, and our children are suffering. And let me give you a biblical reference. Suffer not the little children. Parents, don't provoke your children to wrath. What are we doing? It's not cute. It's not funny. I don't care how many likes you get. I don't care. These babies are suffering and they are growing into dysfunctional teenagers, psychopathic adults. They have no emotional maturity because their parents and their adult family members don't have any either. And then they grow up and people talk about them and people mistreat them and people ostracize them and set them apart, set them aside, and they deal with the mental and the emotional effects of it. And then as they get older, their bodies develop fibromyalgia and they live a life in pain. And it is not okay. It is beyond time for us to wake up and understand that we are sacrificing the lives of our babies. And it ain't cute. These kids do not get the emotional support that they need at home, so they attach themselves to people, places, and things that mean them no good. You should not be giving your 14-year-old a box of condoms. It is time for us to stop being so distracted and focus on things that matter. It is time to change our position so that our view can change. I ain't telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. I'm talking about a life that I led. I'm not telling you this from somebody else's experience. I'm telling you what happened to me. And it's happening at a much, much higher rate. 40, 50 years ago, it wasn't as frequent as it is now. Now, I am grateful beyond measure for every person, situation, and circumstance that taught me a lesson. I have always said experience is the best teacher, but why not let someone else's experience teach you a lesson that you don't have to have pain behind? I ain't gonna stay on here all night. I'm tired. I'm hurting. And my energy level is growing low. But my heart aches for the innocence of these babies we are freely giving it away. We're not fighting for it. We're not trying to do anything to prevent it. We are setting them up for complete failure. We are allowing them to develop dysfunctional habits that are going to follow them throughout the rest of their childhood, their teenage years, and their adult lives. How do you expect a child that has been through all of the things that these babies go through, that has witnessed all of the stuff that these babies witness, how do you expect for them to function as adults? A lot of them will just keep going and going and going in the circle. In the circle. Somebody got to get off the merry-go-round. Someone has to. For the sake of the generations to come. It ain't about me, and it ain't about you. But me and you play such a major role in what is happening in these babies' lives. I done broke out into a sweat, which is another thing that fibromyalgia causes. An imbalance of body temperature. I could be burning up hot one second and freezing cold the next. Because my body is still dealing with the aftermath of childhood trauma. Some afflicted by others, some afflicted by me. Nonetheless, the affliction has been done. I'm getting ready to go to bed. No, I'm getting ready to read. And I'm getting ready to take some time to meditate because I need to bring myself back down on one level, and I need to raise my vibration, my frequency on another level. Because that is what helps me to deal with all of the things that I deal with. That is why I get on here and I talk to y'all about how we can make small changes in our lives with persistence. Instead of doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, which is insanity. So on February 19th, 2025 at 10:37 p.m., these words are for my beautiful ones, my wise ones, and my melanated ones. But especially, I want especially my beautiful wise and melanated ones. Wisdom is knowledge and understanding entangled together so that you can use it when you need to, so that it can be properly applied. Let's apply some of these things in our community before we self-destruct. Because instead of your child knowing the rap lyrics or the dance moves to a particular song, trust me, it's far more important that they know how to do their multiplications. It's more important that they know how to read, not at grade level, above grade level. It's more important that they know how to socialize with children their own age instead of being up in the face of grown people talking about grown people stuff. I love y'all. I love y'all. But it is time for us to seek healing. That healing has to happen. Or it doesn't matter how much snow we get. It won't matter how cold it gets. It won't matter how many vaccines are created, how many medications are created. We are going to die from disease that we inflict upon ourselves. I hope you can get some rest. I hope you can have some thoughts of truth. And I hope you can put it into action.